Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Seahawk Talk here on the Salve Athletics Network. I'm your host, Andrew Pizzelli. We are coming to you live on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope through Twitter every day, 3 to 4 p.m. We are here with Seahawk Talk. We've got a loaded show for you here this afternoon. We have Rob McGuinness, Eliza Timms, Kristen Wales, Carah Cote, Meagan McLaughlin, James Davies, Richard Ventura, and Corey Erban. Lots to get to here today. We're going to speak with our producers as well, but before we get to them, we want to remind everybody to keep their distance. That is the Shake with Keep Your Distance, as sung by Ed Habershaw. Our perpetual motion and message here on Seahawk Talk to keep your distance, social distancing, hand washing, all of that stuff. And we have a ticker down the bottom that will display that throughout the show as well. I want to talk to our producers now, Joey Morelli and Mike DeFusco, to lead off today's program. Fellas, how are we doing? And what do we have here to start off the show?
Yeah, not doing too bad today. Better than yesterday was for sure. But what I wanted to bring up first to start is just to highlight this event quick, because I think it's a pretty cool thing to be able to hear. Kelly Armstrong, our school president, is going to be doing a little keynote event tonight in Our Lady of Mercy Chapel. She's going to just be talking a little bit about exploring her faith and just like her own journey into how she got to where she is today. So if you're free tonight, you got to see all the information right there. You got at 6 p.m. Also, if you don't want to go in person, you can also attend through Zoom, and the meeting code is right there. And this is all available on Salve's website. So if you're free tonight, I strongly encourage you to attend this meeting.
Awesome.
Okay. I had a weird bit of lag there. All right. So I have today a similar event that is today. Not similar event, it's similar that it's today. I earlier today had the pleasure of talking to the head of Newport Film, and she's telling me about like what they're doing in terms of airing films and such, because you can't really gather people in a big crowded theater. So today and roughly every Wednesday they plan they're going to be showing new documentaries relating to current affairs, and today until 12 a.m. You can watch Totally Under Control, which is a documentary about like the coronavirus, and it's totally free. You can donate to them, but otherwise it is completely free to watch. And I think this one in particular is really cool because this is going to be on Hulu on the 23rd, I believe, but Newport Film was able to get early access to it for people to watch. And again, it's totally free. You can donate to Newport Film if you want. You can just click this and it adds it to your cart, and then you get a link that will work until 11:59 p.m. EST. If you start it before then, though, I've learned it still works. So like me, who probably won't get to watch the whole thing before midnight, I could start it before midnight and it won't cut me off.
How again can you say, just so they go to Newport Film's website and you can find it right through there?
Yep, just go to newportfilm.com and it's literally the first thing on the top of the page. It's also the only thing under films right now because they're just doing one show a week. As she told me, they're planning a new one every week. They don't really know what they are yet because they kind of get them like a couple days beforehand, because these are like things that are coming out now. Like I said, this is coming out on Hulu the 23rd. Like this is a brand new thing that obviously was made this year. So I think it's going to be really cool. I'm excited to watch it after probably rehearsal day. I'll probably watch half of it after Seahawk Talk and then watch the other half later tonight.
I just bookmarked it because you got me. I'm like, wow, this looks really interesting, and I don't want to forget about it. And I make sure because I got to watch it today. Got to do it today. So
It
time
looks super
sensitive.
cool.
We're giving people more
time sensitive.
time than we did to go submit their mail-in ballot applications yesterday. That
Yeah,
was 2
you
minutes
have-
yesterday.
We can
You've
do
got
2 minutes.
about let me think
9
here.
hours.
9 hours we're giving you to go find
It's a
this.
2-hour movie, so 9 is plenty.
Cool. Awesome. Guys, love it. Great stuff here to start. We'll certainly get back to you at the end of the show, and I'll let you guys get to work here producing the program. So thank you very much.
All right.
All right.
All right. That is Joey Morelli and Mike DeFusco. We're going to bring in now our first guest here today on Seahawk Talk, the head coach of our men's and women's cross country teams, Rob McGuinness. Rob, how are you doing here this afternoon?
All right, how are you?
I'm doing well. I guess we'll just start first, kind of the generic stuff. How is practice going? How has practice been? How's the last week been for you and your team?
Last week has been pretty good. We've been consistent out on those. We a couple of good workouts last week. We were running up Chastelux Avenue doing some hill workouts here in Newport, and that was an interesting challenge. Over the weekend, we participated in the New England Association's virtual plank challenge. The group that was here on campus all did the 4 positions. You had to do a traditional plank, so prone plank, a supine plank, right side plank, and a left side plank, and we timed all those results and reported them and aggregated them, and we actually scored out pretty well. If you look at the results that are posted to ned3.org, we were up against Conn College and the University of Southern Maine, and we held our own. And we've got to give a shout out to a couple of our outstanding freshmen who demonstrated their proficiency in the planks. Heather McKee and Olivia Forbes were outstanding. They were far and away the longest survivors, all of the 4 positions, and they scored out quite well in the aggregated results. Kate Norton did quite well. She's a junior, and then Kat Bruce and Jill LeBeau also had some pretty steady contributions to our team totals. So a little bit of fun happening at Saturday practice with the association's virtual challenge. So it was a good week.
Now, I think you guys have a 5K, a time trial coming up. Is it this weekend at Brenton Point?
Yeah, that's right. On Saturday, we'll go out and we'll do our first time trial of the season. It'll be a 5K, and much like the activity last weekend, the association is aggregating results and doing a virtual meet out of that. So we'll record our times. We'll run a whole bunch of laps around Brenton Point because it's 800 meters to a lap the way that we do it. So it'll be 6 laps plus an extra 200 meters to cover the full distance. But we'll head out there today to check it out, make sure that everything looks good, and run a workout on that surface so we're used to the grass. But I'm looking forward to seeing what the team can do because this will be our first real benchmark of the 2020 season, such as it is.
I was gonna ask, will this be like the first, like, hey, it's okay, rain's off, 100%, go and do and see how you play, how you run?
Yeah, I that's exactly what it is. We're not going to get stressed out about it. It's an opportunity to see what kind of fitness we have at this point in the season, and it gives us a benchmark so that we do some workouts over the next few weeks, and the second and third time trials should demonstrate some improvement. So it's nothing to be stressed out about, but it is definitely a good point in time to see where we stand, because I think we're all kind of curious, and for most of us, it's been a while since there's been a race. Many of the current upperclassmen have not raced since the end of last cross-country season, and for our freshmen, many of them haven't raced since the end of indoor track for those who compete in that season. So it's been a while. We can shake off some of the rust and just get a sense of where we stand. But we've got a large enough group, especially on the women's side. There's 27 on the women's team, and that's enough to actually put a competitive little group out on the course, and we can push each other to try to put up a time. So it's not as though we'll be spaced out and trying to run by ourselves, as is often the case with some of these virtual races. So we'll see what Saturday holds for us. I hope the weather's okay, and we'll do lots of laps around Brenton Point.
Speaking of running by yourself, I know many people probably saw the video from this weekend of Kyle Burgess, who was running by himself in Utah and encountered a friend. So I'm going to pull up this video first for people at home to see. You already kind of get an idea from it there, and I'm going to jump ahead. He was walking, and he came upon a cougar and its cubs, and that's just anytime you encounter wildlife and its children, never a good thing. And he's very lucky. He got basically stalked for 6 minutes as he backed his way down the trail. Some of the most harrowing points of this is right around here when the cougar decides, all right, I really want to try and scare him away, and it's just lunging at him like that. I don't know how. I mean, a lot of us who are outdoors people or running in wooded areas, we're told we know the things to do in these situations. Can't even imagine. Luckily, I've never had to deal with this, but going through actually trying to stay calm and, hey, I'm just going to back away, make no. I've muted this because there's a lot of swearing. There's a lot of swearing at the cougar, in an attempt to try and make himself look big and scare it and just keep backing away. You did the right thing by facing it. Have you ever in your life, Rob, encountered a situation like this? And maybe make the point, maybe if any of your athletes are listening, instinct might be to run, but and you're fast, but it's faster, and so you don't want to run. You just want to say, I just got to keep backing away and backing away and backing away, which is hard to do because this is just terrifying.
This is terrifying footage, and I'm amazed, one, that he managed to backpedal for 6 minutes as this thing stalked him down the trail, but also he holds the camera really steady. I'm not sure that my camera work would be quite so good if I was being stalked by a cougar, but I guess you never know when you're in a flight or flight situation. Have I encountered wildlife? Sure. Nothing quite as scary as a cougar. I've had a run-in or two with coyotes in Connecticut, and the more recent one, I remember running through the airline trail in East Hampton, Connecticut one evening, and it was dusk, and I thought I saw up ahead, it looked like a dog. It looked like it might have been a German Shepherd or something that was standing on the trail, and so I slowed down and I started to walk as I got closer and closer because I was headed back toward my car, and I had 3 or 4 miles to go, and I needed to go in that direction. And as I got closer, I started to realize this was no dog. And it was looking at me, giving that sort of that squinty side eye, coyote stare that they're so good at doing. And I started talking to it because I figured, well, maybe we can all just stay calm. So there I am telling the coyote what a good dog it is as I'm getting closer and closer. And it took off the trail and just stood there and stared at me and stared and stared and stared. And eventually I pulled in with it on the trail. And I didn't turn my back on it. I just kept moving very, very slowly. And as I got past, I backpedaled away until I was a few hundred meters away from it, at which point it was no longer interested in me. And I finished my run back to my car and got the heck out of East Hampton. So, that's my not nearly as dramatic coyote encounter. But I come across them occasionally in the woods and in the trails. And for the most part, they tend not to mess with people, but it's better not to get involved with them. Don't try to startle them or anything, and they might just go away on their own. And then other not so wildlife encounters, I've had plenty of run-ins with dogs that weren't on leashes, and I've been bitten a few times and sent to the hospital for tetanus shots, and that's no fun. But yeah, generally a good idea to remain calm when the wildlife happens to encounter you on the trail. I guess it's their trail too.
Yeah, I was gonna say most of the times I've had worse encounter. Most wildlife, people don't think about how much noise they make when they're on a trail, hiking, running, even on a road like that. You make so much noise. We may think we smell good. Old Spice might smell nice to us, but to animals it's like, oh my God, there's a person within 10 miles. They will stay away. It's about not scaring them with food or cubs. That was the situation with Mr. Burgess here. He scared the cougar that had its cub. But yeah, the situation with domesticated pets, I've had worse encounters because animals will just leave. Wildlife wants to get away for the most part. Dogs, cats, things not on leashes are the worst. And at least if you're on foot, you can somewhat face a dog if you need to and scare. Having a dog chase you on a bike, that's happened to me, is no fun because I don't want to hit the dog because I also don't want to crash. It's also trying to nip at my feet. I'm trying to move and still just no fun. So like you said, agree that the domesticated animals are sometimes worse than the wild animals.
Seriously. It's a wild world out there sometimes.
Kind of now on the complete other side of the spectrum, in odd running news from this weekend, is this story about an Ontario runner sets 10K world record Why is it a world record? Well, that's because he's running with a double stroller. Label this as things I didn't know existed. I guess you should. I guess I shouldn't be surprised anymore. There's an event for everything. The 10K double stroller race. Is that something that is on the horizon, Rob? Will you ever think of competing? Does it have to be your kids that are in the stroller, or can you get anybody else's kids to sign up and be part of your team?
I think I'd have to borrow some kids. Maybe my brother will let me take my niece and nephew for an attempt, although I would have enough of a time running that 10K time without having a stroller in front of me. That's about my 10K effort when I'm in good shape and not having to push and not be able to use my arms. And if you read, this guy's got world records at some of the other longer distances too, which would be entirely respectable times for someone who's not pushing a stroller. So this fellow is just impressive. I can't imagine running that fast and not being able to have any arm motion whatsoever.
Well, and here's the thing, I guess, too. I mean, do they, and it does, the article, I think I tried to find the detail. I don't know if it says, maybe I'd have to go to the race website. Is there like a weight thing for the kids? Do they do you have to weigh in your children? Like, no, listen, you can't have kids that are below a certain, how do they make sure that's fair, you know?
Oh, I don't know.
I hope he's feeding his kids, you know?
Yeah. I think just having any kind of weight, and it changes your posture too. You're kind of leaning in. I mean, he's got it looks like it's a pretty solid jogging stroller there from the photo, but even so, you're leaning in, you're not maintaining a normal running posture while you're doing this, and to hold down sub 6 minute miles for 10K is just impressive.
I said that's one of those, you know, odd skills. It's probably weird to run normal after doing this.
It might be. I've been counting a few quick stroller runners in races over the years, and you never really expect to see them coming. And you hear something behind you, it sounds like wheels. Wait a minute, what's back there? And not that you ever want to be overtaken by someone pushing a stroller. That is like the ultimate demoralizing race.
I was biking with a friend, and we were just putting slowly. We had just started. I didn't know what his speed, how fast he wanted to go. And this guy went flying by us on rollerblades, and he's like, "This isn't right. This isn't how this is supposed to happen." So then I was like, "All right, we're gonna catch this guy now." We had to go. I was like, "I'm gonna go fast. Can you go fast?" He's like, "Oh yeah. I didn't know how fast." "Oh no. Okay, yeah, good." We went flying by. Yeah, getting lapped by the person with the stroller, probably not.
Doesn't do much for the old morale there.
All right. Well, those are two very interesting, wildly different stories from the running world. When I emailed you saying, "What do you want to talk about today?" I was not expecting these, but those are both awesome. And there's always relevance. We can always bring something back to everyone else, you know. And I think we popped it up before in the comments. Do not run when you see a cougar. Message to everyone. Try, emphasis on try, to remain calm. Well, Rob, great seeing you again. Love the stuff here today. Good luck with the 5Ks with the team this weekend, and we'll look forward to hearing about that next week.
Tell you all about it next week. Thanks, Andrew. We'll talk soon.
All right, that's Rob McGuinness, the head coach of our men's and women's cross-country team. We're going to go now to two members of our field hockey team, Eliza Timms and Kristen Wales. Ladies, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good. Wanted to ask first, you know, practice is started for everybody. How has that gone, and what's it been like, the adjustment to the potting, the restrictions, and everything? But I'm sure it still feels good just to at least be out there on the field, right?
Yeah, it definitely feels good to be out and practicing with the team. But we just actually switched last week into doing 2 bigger pods, and now we can do defense too, but only for a little bit of time, but that's really fun for me. I play defense, so I've been really happy being able to finally do that again instead of just 6 skills and shooting.
Yeah, it's been really fun. I'm just glad we get to get out there and play with the girls. I definitely missed them for spring ball last year, indefinitely. And I love having the freshmen there. It's very different, but they're pushing through, and that's the best we can ask for and make the most of it.
like you guys said right there, no spring ball. And then over the summer, what did you guys do for staying sharp, staying in shape? I mean, you said it there, Kristen, you want to play defense. You need somebody to defend. So
Yeah.
how was the summer for both of you as far as training, trying to stay sharp from a field hockey perspective?
I kind of just ended up just doing like stick skills, like in my house and stuff like that, or like in my yard, and then just like running. Because where I am in the summer, there's not really a turf that's close, so I just kind of made the most of it, what I could do.
Yeah, I think making the most of it was the most important thing. We got a packet over the summer, or a couple of packets from Coach that helped a lot with different things because she adhered it more to knowing that we're not at the gym and not a lot of us had access to turfs. Like a couple of the turfs that are near me were closed over the summer, so that was a little bit difficult and not being able to go to the gym. So she definitely did a really good job of having other activities and like running we could do to keep us in shape the best of her ability into game shape as well. So that was really nice to have and look at.
A lot of teams, a lot of players have talked about how, it's harder now maybe to focus on the skills of the game, the team stuff, what you're usually geared towards, but it's an opportunity to work on the other things, developing as people, bonding with one another, growing that team chemistry and dynamic. How has that been for you guys? You talked about getting the freshmen in. What kind of things have you guys been doing from a team building and bonding experience?
We have team Zooms every Friday and Saturday, but Saturdays our coach isn't on, so we can kind of just like do what we like. A few teammates like run it and stuff like that, and so we've done like trivia about like other teammates, and then actually 2 weeks ago we did a scavenger hunt on campus. Obviously like with our masks on and all that stuff, but in our pods we all went around the scavenger hunt and like found things, which was like really fun. So we got to we're just getting to know people, but in kind of like a different way.
Yeah, it's definitely been pretty hard, but I think the freshmen have made like the most of it, and we have too, just because it kind of stinks. Like it feels like your family, you can't fully see them. Like we're lucky enough because we live together, we get to see each other. But like the new girls that come in, you just like your heart goes out for them because you can't see them as much or get to know them as well as you would during preseason. But the Zooms have been fun. We've even done trivia about each other's, like 2 truths and a lie, so everyone kind of got to know each other there. And the scavenger hunt was a really good way for us to like slowly get together more, but social distancing as well.
Talk about the scavenger hunt. What was where were the places or the things that you guys were looking for?
It was kind of just like around campus. One of them, and there was like certain like little like things you just had to like film yourself doing a few things. There was some like trivia stuff on it as well that like we all had to like look up quickly. And then yeah, we kind of just went around campus and they put in like clues. And yeah, that was about it.
It was really fun, honestly.
It was fun.
It was nice to get out instead of just seeing each other on Zoom.
Yeah.
And then obviously we see each other at practice, but only in your small pods. So it was kind of nice to see everyone from far away, but also be close up to each other too. And the trivia was interesting. Like you think you know a lot about the school, but then you're also like, okay, is it actually here? Is it not? So that was kind of fun to do too.
Cool. Aside from adjusting to being, the restrictions around practice and all that, there's also the adjustment to being back at school and the classroom changes. How have your respective majors been affected by that? And either way, are you happy to be at least having the opportunity to learn in person as opposed to being full virtual like we had to do in the spring?
So I'm a nursing major, so going virtual was kind of difficult last year. We did a lot of VSim. I'm sure a lot of other people have talked about that, like the virtual simulator online. But now that we're back, we do hybrid classes, and then also we're in clinical rotations. And mine, we can all go, all 8 of us, into the nursing home, but we just have to wear like full PPE, like personal protective equipment, the whole gown, the face shield, like the whole 9 yards. And but it's been good. Like I'm just happy that we get to like have that experience and like still get to go in. It's definitely a lot harder, like just doing it online because it's really not the same than actually doing it on a person in real time.
I definitely agree. Like I'm a biochem major, and not having labs and just like completely ending kind of was sad because like that's the hands-on part that you want to know and stuff and do with each other. And also just not having like the camaraderie of like your classmates and like your schoolmates like there with you to be like, hey, like let's meet up at the library and do this. Like it was hard to talk to people online through the spring semester. So I'm grateful we're here and that we do have labs every other week / online because they've had the time to readjust and figure that stuff out. And the ability to do research in person as long as like everything still goes well. Like I just like that we can be there at least somewhat hands-on and actually see your teachers instead of just all being virtual. Like I very much appreciate that.
Did you ever think, I know a couple of people have said this, that when the spring happened, and then now thinking like, oh my God, like I just can't wait to be in class. Like you would never think you'd say the words like, oh God, I just want to be in class.
I honestly don't even like the days that I'm online. I would much rather be like, I'm so happy that we get to like do the dual thing, but like the days that I'm online, I can just like, it's just like, no, it's not the same. It's really just not the same.
Not even close. Like, it's nice being in person. Like, I was just grateful we had something compared to other schools.
Yeah. Something that Coach talked to me about. We talked with Commissioner, the Commonwealth Coast Conference Commissioner Greg Kay yesterday. He mentioned this as well. The Lex Strong 100-mile challenge. Talk about your guys' participation in that, how that came about, and why it's so meaningful.
So the Lex Strong challenge is basically this girl Lex on the Wesley field hockey team. She actually got diagnosed with breast cancer, and she did it from doing a self-breast examination at age 21. And so we're just trying to raise awareness for breast cancer and how important self-examinations are for people. So as a conference, I actually went on to a Zoom with a bunch of like a few other representatives from each team, like 2 from each team from our conference. And we all talked about like ideas that we're going to raise awareness for Lex Strong and stuff like that. So the main thing is that you're supposed to do 100 miles by the end of October. So we have a month to do 100 miles. And each week we log our miles and then put them in, and we compete against the other teams in the CCC to see who has the most miles. Last week we had the most miles. But then we also are making a video. So like a few people from each team is going to like say a little script, and then we're all going to send it into the CCC director, and they're going to put it all together, and it's going to be really cute and like raise awareness for it. And also we did postcards, so you can send them to Lex at her school, and she hangs up all the postcards. So we just did that. We did like in partners in our team and sent them in. And then we're going to do a practice day where everyone in the CCC wears the matching t-shirts, and it's our practice day like for Lex. Because we normally would have our like breast cancer awareness or cancer awareness game every year. Like last year we did Angela's Army. So it's kind of a different way to still be raising awareness and supporting someone without having games or like having a game to do it. It's been like really fun so far though. I really like it, and it's good to raise awareness.
Awesome. It's a really great cause. Like you said, I know your team has been really involved every single year with something like that. So great to find a way to still do something to raise awareness. And those things, they just feel good. So, and also 100 miles in a month, it's good to have that extra push right now to not just come and sit down when you get home. Like, you know what, I can run a mile or two to raise awareness for breast cancer. It's a good motivator. Ladies, thank you so much for coming on here today. Great to see you. Hopefully, everybody's hoping that things are going well right now for Salve and that we have games this spring. So keep up the great work, and we'll see you soon. Thank you for coming on today.
Thanks for having us.
All right, that's Eliza Timms and Kristen Wales, members of our field hockey team. We're now going to go to 2 members of our women's soccer team, Carah, Cote, and Meagan, McLaughlin. Ladies, how are we?
Hi, we're good. How are you?
Good. All right, Meagan, I got to start. This is a question for you. I got to know. We got to settle this debate once and forever. Is it McLaughlin or McLaughlin? Which is it?
McLaughlin.
McLaughlin. Okay, we can write that down. Let's go. Let's update every pronunciation guide. McLaughlin. Finally, thank goodness. That's just one of those funny things, because it's what happens when you have a name that you hear a coach say it one way and then a friend say it another way, and you wait. They just said it that way. Which way is it? You got parents who call, not your parents, but it's what happened when you broadcast games. It's always you always want to make sure you get the names right. So now we've settled it. McLaughlin. Speaking of family, I guess Meagan, I'll ask you this too. What was it like to get to play with your sister Kayla on the same team?
It was really fun. We played together in high school for 1 year, and we played up top together. So it was a little different because she played like center back this year. But it was really fun. It was nice having her like at school too, just to have someone to go to. But yeah.
Both of you were the team's leading goal scorers last year. What allowed you to find success, and then how can you guys build upon that for this season?
I think that Meagan and I are honestly really good at just knowing what each other are going to do next. Like, we work very well together, and we always just know what's going to happen. And I think that we play similarly but different. So that kind of helps knowing like what I would do next is probably one like very similar to what Meagan's gonna do.
Yeah, we started off a little slow in the beginning of the season. We played with like only with one up top, I think. And then Jane finally put us both up top together, and that's when things really started to click and we started scoring.
Talking about adjustments, Carah, you initially started as a back. So how was that adjustment to going from being, on a completely opposite end of the field and responsible for different things, and obviously showing the scoring touch?
Yeah, so I played forward in high school, but then freshman year I played outside mid, and then sophomore year was when I was put into the back line. And I just did what I had to do. I knew that like I was beneficial there for my team in the moment, but I knew that going into my junior year and getting changed to a forward, I knew like I still had the same mindset as I did in high school, just knowing that like I had to score for my team and just be good for my team.
This past spring and summer were obviously very different for everybody. For you guys, how was the summer, and how did you find creative ways? At least soccer, you kind of just need a little patch of grass, and you can do something. You're not reliant on other crazy types of equipment. But how are you guys able to stay sharp, stay in shape, and work on your skills? And obviously a very challenging summer.
I know like most of the gyms were closed around me, so I just ran at my like local track, and luckily that was open, and then my high school field was open, so me and Kayla would just go to the high school field and play around, so that was nice to have.
Yeah, in the summer I lived with one of the girls on my team. We were roommates, and we would go to Cote Middle School a lot because we lived in Newport. We would just go play around there. We would go to the gym, just do our running, get our fitness in, just do as much as we could.
Well, now you get to be back on campus and practicing. What was it like adjusting to the restrictions, the podding, and then how has practice now gone, kind of getting the adjustment to that?
It's definitely different being in pods. We have 3 pods plus like our goalies. But recently we've been able to do like contact where all of us can play for like at least like 15 minutes. So it's fun, but different. It's hard with the mask on too. Lots of running.
It's definitely tough because soccer is so like such a contact sport that like we kind of were really trying to adjust and figure out what we were going to be able to do for the first 2 weeks. So we just knew we would have to go do some conditioning because that's really mostly one of the only things we could do besides doing like passing and ball skills. So we're just getting through conditioning, doing all of that, and then just getting excited to play for the 15 minutes we can play against each other.
How great of a feeling was it, though, to get out there that first practice? I think you guys was it a sunset practice? I think you guys got to get out there and be on the field and see each other's faces and at least be around the team.
Yeah, it was really nice.
It was really exciting to just be back with everyone.
What are your goals for this season? Obviously, I think everybody's main goal is to get through the fall and keep things where they're trending and having the season. But for the season itself, what are your guys' goals and expectations for this team?
Honestly, we're not really sure what's to come with this season, but we definitely just want to make each other better, make ourselves better, and just be hopeful and prepared for a season to come.
Yeah, I agree. Like I'm probably not doing a 5th year, so this is going to be my last year. And I'm just taking like every practice as I can and like hoping and like praying that like we get some sort of spring season so that we can continue playing. And I think that this team has a lot of talent, and I think that it shows at practice, and everyone is willing to continually get better. So I think that if we do have a spring season, we're going to be really good.
Awesome. Ladies, thank you so much. I know, like we've said, I'm sure you've heard us say to the others, we're all very hopeful. Salve's looking good right now, trending in the right direction because everybody's doing the right things. Thank you so much for coming on here today, and look forward to seeing you guys out on the field soon.
Thank you.
All right, that's Carah, Cote, and Meagan McLaughlin, members of our women's soccer team. We're going to take a short break and be back with 3 members of our men's soccer team. Don't go anywhere.
So you want to be a Seahawk? Let's make sure you wash your hands, keep your distance, wear your mask, and love your Seahawks.
Sammy, no mask?
Come on, Sammy. I know it's pumpkin spice season, but you can't bring drinks to class.
We have simple rules here, Sammy. Get out. Come back when you can follow them.
You gotta take care of yourself and others, even if you are Sammy the Seahawk.
Welcome back to Seahawk Talk. I'm your host, Andrew Pizzelli. We're going to go now to three members of our men's soccer team. Welcome to the show, James Davies, Richie Ventura, and Corey Erban. Fellas, how are we?
What's going on, Andrew? Doing good.
Doing well.
Great. I want to ask you guys first, pretty much everybody who's come on from your team just itching to talk about last season. I already see a championship shirt right there. Just talk about what it meant to be part of a championship team and your memories from last season.
Oh, it was really special, especially the way it happened, considering that we weren't that strong at the start of the season. And then we kind of built our way up during the year. We got stronger and stronger. I think the team bonded really well off the pitch, and that really contributed to our success.
Yeah, we really hit our stride right when we needed to. Okay. And big people came in to make big plays. It was awesome. Being undefeated in conference definitely doesn't hurt either. Yeah, it was such a fun season.
Everybody, I'm sure you've heard us mention it to our previous guests on the show. I'm going to ask you guys the same question. Practice has been so different. I've been to your guys' practices. I know you guys like to just simulate a game, and it's just we're playing, we're going, we're live. Obviously, that's not the situation right now. How has that been different and the adjustment to that?
Well, I mean, James was able to practice for a little bit, maybe for a week or two, but we've all been sidelined with respective injuries. So, I mean, we've just been watching, but I mean, it's been cool seeing them kind of go through it because the first week or two we were playing, we were just doing passing, drills, nothing crazy. But the past week we've been doing 5-on-5s, and that's kind of really helped everybody. We get a better look at all the freshmen. We see who's been working out in the summer. So, and I think it's just better for a team morale. Everybody gets to know each other, gets to know how each other plays, and you can create a better bond, playing with each other. Yeah.
I know Coach is big every year on you guys, like you mentioned there, getting to know each other, that team building stuff. How has that gone this year, with you guys integrating freshmen in such an unconventional year? Has the trivia card come back? Do you have to know everybody's favorite ice cream, that sort of stuff? Yeah. How have the tests gone?
Oh, they were definitely happening this year. It was weird because usually we learn that stuff during preseason when we're all locked up in the dorms together. We're kind of forced to just study and get to know everybody who's trying out, but we had to do that combined with school this year, so it was a little bit tough. We had to learn first name, last name, hometown, high school. Yeah, we did state. Favorite team that you support. We didn't get the ice cream this year, right?
We got some middle names.
Middle names, that was the last one.
And typically he also questions us on conference schools, and this year he did conference results as well. But it was good because it kind of brought the team closer together. And it's a shame because we didn't have preseason. And the best part of preseason is that the team, gets to know each other. The freshmen get to know the upperclassmen. But I think through that we were able to, get to learn a bit more about each other.
You talked about, expectations coming into last year. Last year's seniors at the beginning of the year said, we just don't want to suck. And then you guys go out and you have a great year and you win a championship. What do you think is the potential of this team if and when games get to be played?
I think, as coaches say as well, I think we expect to try and retain our championship title from last year and hopefully go further on in the NCAAs. We have a really good squad this year. We have lots of depth. Anyone could come from the bench and get minutes. So we're looking, in strong shape right now. It's just most important that after we have these 6 weeks of training that, we still are working for our potential spring season and we still are staying fit.
Yeah. I mean, we lost some really key players last year. They're never replaceable, like Ev, Noah, Kraft. It's hard to replace those guys, but we're going to do our best and, try and get right back to where we were.
What I was going to ask you guys was about James. Obviously, if anybody's listening, they can tell you have an accent. You're English. Americans have this weird obsession with the English accent. When you came to the team, when you were a freshman and you're meeting your teammates, did they make you just speak for no reason because they just wanted to hear the sound of your voice? Did they just hand you the phone book? Did Craig say, "Here's a phone book. Read A to G now"?
No, I did get that a bit, but I love it. It was really funny, and you could still see it wears off Coach a bit because he sometimes likes to use my slang and training.
I love your slang.
I think deep down we've always been saying that like Coach wants to be like a British coach. That's his aim. That's his goal. So. But it's good fun. I love it.
What does that mean? He wants to be a British coach. Does that mean in demeanor and explain what that? What's the difference between an American coach or what's the difference between Craig and a British coach?
Well, it's just like you said, the demeanor and the terminology he uses, and I say some things a lot differently than he does. When we talk about like soccer and that, but he's been using it over the last few years. I think it's really funny when I catch him out once or twice saying like lads or bibs or anything that I would normally say typically.
You guys seem like a very close-knit group. I know your team is. How have, for you guys, your friendships developed, and how will you guys lean, maybe not too hard, you mentioned the injury thing, on each other since you are all injured right now?
I mean, we're in this together. We're all on the sidelines together right now, just kind of scouting out the rest of the team, seeing how everybody's doing. I mean, it stinks we can't play. We want to be out there. Beautiful days like today, that's all we want to do, but we just got to focus on getting healthy and hopefully getting ready for our spring season in any way we can. But it definitely helps being on the sidelines with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Are any of you guys Liverpool supporters?
Nope.
No chance.
Nope. 2 Chelsea and New York Rangers.
Okay, good. Because I asked the guys last week, about I'm waiting for somebody, at least one of. Are there any Liverpool supporters on the team? There has to be at least one, right?
Isn't Guerra Liverpool?
No, Guerra's a Liverpool supporter and
Coyle
is too. And I think they're the only 2 I know of. I'm sure there's one more in our team, but that's the only ones I really know of currently.
I was gonna say because that Aston Villa game was just not good, not a good look for anybody.
I mean, it was good for me. I enjoyed watching it. It was brilliant, especially I had Guerra watching it with me, so like I got a bit of a kick out of it.
Hey, fellas, I know I've been saying this for a while. When they first, I was speaking to Coach, and when they first announced that there was not going to be a fall, and I know obviously everybody was bummed about that. We hadn't found out yet the chance to have spring. I said, Craig, this just means that you guys are still reigning champions. Until somebody takes it from you, you're champs. So hopefully you guys get the chance to actually defend in the spring. But even if not, you guys will stay champs until somebody takes it from you.
Yep, still champs.
Still champs.
Yeah, happy days.
All right. Fellas, thank you so much for coming on here today. Hopefully you guys do get the chance to defend that title in the spring. And yeah, just great to see you all, fellas, and hope you guys can have a good and swift recovery.
Thanks, Andrew. Thank you.
All right. That's James Davies, Richard Ventura, and Corey Erban from our men's soccer team. We're going to take a very short break and be back to wrap up today's show. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Seahawk Talk. I'm your host, Angel Pizzelli. I'm going to bring in the producers once again here to wrap up today's show. Let's welcome back in Mike DeFusco and Joey Morelli. Fellas, I always like to get your initial thoughts from our guests here today. You know, we had a packed show. This is probably the most guests we've ever had on a single program. So your initial thoughts, and we'll start with Joey from today's show from our guests.
I'm trying to think of like something specific I want to pull out. There was something that Coach McGuinness mentioned that I wanted to talk about, and I totally forgot what it was. But otherwise, just hearing from athletes. I always love hearing from athletes. I always say it. It's always fun to get their take on what's going on and get a closer look of like what they're doing, especially because like coaches, obviously, like, you know, coaches are the ones facilitating them working together and doing these new things. But like we get, I guess, confirmation because like the coaches say it, but then the players say the same thing of like they're working together in these like new groups or pods or whatever they're doing, and it's different and it's kind of weird, but it works.
Yeah, honestly, I'm still hung up on that Cougar video you brought up, Coach McGuinness. That was just like,
honestly,
I'm still scared. When he showed that in pre-show, I actually had to go pee right after because I was scared. But no, seriously though, you know, and that group of guys, those soccer players at the end, you know, that must be a comedic bunch on the sideline now that they're injured. So, you know, I just had fun like really hearing from them. I like having the multiple people on one camera. I think that it really brings out their chemistry and it shows just how connected all these guys are who play on the team.
Yeah, that's going to be quite the peanut gallery there for Craig during practice. We'll have to get Coach O'Rourke back on the show and ask him like, what's it like having those three? Like, I know you want them on the field usually, probably more so now because you don't want them just on the sideline cracking all the jokes.
It's Statler, Waldorf, and like a third one. The Swedish chef for some reason has joined.
Maybe, hey, we can add that to the list of our things we have to get back to people on. We can Photoshop those guys onto Statler and Waldorf and somebody else in the box. I wanted to end the show with we mentioned yesterday the voting thing about getting your mail ballot application in. Well, for Rhode Island voters, today, right now, you can start voting early, in person, at a town hall or city hall, or sometimes it might be a recreation center. Find out from your local board of canvassers. Go online, look. You can just Google vote. And there's tons of resources to find where you can go for you. But you can go right now, starting today, till Election Day, and go cast an actual ballot in person. It takes like 2 minutes. There's usually like no one else there. Like when I did it for the primary. If you have a mail ballot, and for whatever reason, if you're leery about sticking it in the mail, you can go and drop it off right there, and you know it's been counted and taken care of. We're going to hype the voting thing all the way up until we're not on the air on November 3rd because, everybody deserves to have that day off. But, yeah, just want to, again, say voting. If you're in Rhode Island, I know a couple of other states have the early voting as well. Just look near you. There is more awareness about voting right now than ever, and there's never been more opportunity to vote in such a varied way. So just wanted to... I'm just going to keep repeating. I'm going to keep harping on it. The vote. Vote.
Yeah, to keep, just like reiterate some of the big points we've been making. Here at Salve, we're doing so well with Corona and all that. But, in Rhode Island right now, there's a lot of cases that are, cases are on the rise. So I wanted to share this really quickly. Be sure to watch the news tomorrow because Gina Raimondo, our governor, is going to be sharing some new mandates, actually, due to this new rise in cases. So it doesn't specify a time, but it says new regulations will be announced on Thursday afternoon. She's hoping this will be a wake-up call for Rhode Island. So I know here at Salve we're doing good, but just, to all the people in Rhode Island, just, keep doing all these things so we don't go backwards, anymore. She's not going to go back to phase 2, but there are going to be some new restrictions. So as residents in the area, definitely watch your local news tomorrow and make sure you're up to date with all the new mandates.
Yeah, I saw her press conference today, and the tone I got from that is, Rhode Island, we're still in a good spot. The trends seem to be like cases are increasing, and rather than wait till it gets bad, and she'd rather just make the turn now and say, let's just adjust now. Let's just Let's just get ahead. Let's stay ahead.
Nip it in the butt right now. Exactly.
So those are, like you said, that's another big thing coming down the pipe. Joey, did you have anything else that you maybe wanted to give you the chance if you had anything else here at the close?
Nothing in particular, really. I will say about the new mandates and stuff, like, it's better to be safe than sorry. Like, it's literally not that much of an inconvenience. Like, I don't know exactly what she's doing, but it can't be that inconveniencing than dying of a plague. So might as well just, suck it up and just do whatever it is. And because, hey, maybe we at Christmas, I mean, it won't be like as good, but like, you want to ruin Christmas because you don't want to do one more thing, just do it.
Yeah, it's getting cold anyway, start to stay inside a little bit more. I think cases will go down anyway.
Yep, exactly. Hey, fellas, great work here today. Look forward to talking to you again tomorrow. And we can get on out of here a little early on a Wednesday.
Let's go. Let's see you tomorrow.
All right, that's Joey Morelli and Mike DeFusco. That has been our show here today. Once again, we're live every day, 3 to 4 p.m. here on the Salve Athletics Network. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope through Twitter. You can also check out Seahawk Radio to get our stream as well. That's what Joey Morelli tirelessly does behind the scenes. He helps to produce our stream out for our Salve Regina fans on campus. You can also subscribe to the Seahawk Talk podcast to never miss an episode while you're on the go. And like I said, live every day, 3 to 4 p.m. Once again, want to thank our guests here today. We had Rob McGuinness, Eliza Timms, Kristen Wales, Carah Cote, Meagan McLaughlin, James Davies, Richie Ventura, and Corey Erban. An absolutely packed show. Love it. We're going to have a packed show again tomorrow. We will be live at 3 p.m. here on the Salve Athletics Network. Have a good afternoon, everybody. I'm Andrew Pizzelli, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.